and I'm going to be reading you an article from the San Francisco Herald from April 22nd, 1906. The San Francisco Herald, Volume 10, Issue 254. Quake survivors gather at Lotta's fountain to pick up the pieces. I'm here on Market Street of downtown San Francisco, where thousands of people have gathered at Lotta's fountain, a city monument which has become a meeting place for the disabled people 4 days after the huge earthquake which has struck our city. Everyone seems to be walking around in a daze, looking for loved ones and trying to pick up their pieces. I met one woman in dirty rags with her hair in a mess, and she had a remarkable story. "Excuse me, are you a reporter?" the woman asked. I said yes, and she replied, "I have a story to tell, and I want you to publish it in your newspaper. My name is Rebecca Gillis." Before she could say anything else, she broke out weeping. I had a cousin who I lost in the earthquake, and he saved my life by pushing me out of harm's way when I was going to be crushed by a building. She sobbed. Now I have come here in hopes of meeting up with the rest of my family, who all scattered after the building began to fall. A true story for publishing. I jotted it down on my notepad, gave her a hanky, and thanked her for the story. This tale demonstrates the meaning of bravery and unselfishness for others. A reported 375 people have died in the city due to the monster earthquake that has struck at 5:12 a.m. on April 18th. The quake was caused by a rupture in the San Andreas Fault, says scientist Drake Bilge. Devastating fires broke out in our city, which still burn at press time. As a result of the quakes and fires, there have been a lot of suffering as much of the city has been destroyed. A man I spoke to at the fountain was clutching a picture of an 11-year-old girl and two 5-year-old boys. His face was all muddy, and the man was wearing a ripped tie and a cut-up blazer. He was completely bald. "Sir, what is your name?" I asked him. "Albert Quay," he replied. "Are those your children?" I asked. He just broke down in tears. "This is all that I have for my apartment," he wept. "This is all that I have for my apartment. My 3 youngins are missing." The man told me how he was divorced and he never got to see the kids again until his wife finally broke in and gave them back to him. Sadly, it happened to be the day that the quake struck. I ran out of the flat with the youngins, but I ran to get the photo just in case. Sadly, the youngins ran off, and then they were gone. He broke down again, and so I offered him a pat on the back. I also took a picture of him for the Herald. I later ran into an 11-year-old girl and 5-year-old boys. I asked if their father was missing, and the girl said, "Our father was missing in the fire." I showed her the picture, and she said, "That's him! That is him! Is he still alive?" "Well and alive," I exclaimed. I led the children to Lotta's fountain, and tears were shed, hugs were given, and happiness was in the air. We were not the only city struck by this crazy rupture. Over 180 deaths was reported by government officials in both the cities of San Jose and Santa Rosa. The survivors of the quake have no running water, so they fled to the city's fountains. Sadly, no fountains are up and working at the current time, except for one, Lotta's fountain. The fountain was first built in the 1800s and was a popular hangout for children looking for a drink. Suddenly, in the aftermath of this disaster, the citizens of San Francisco hair flocking to the fountain for water and answers. We here at the Herald were forced to go for water during lunch hour even. Sadly, the government needed to turn off the water at times to conserve it, and we missed our chance. We are all still very thirsty. Reporting from downtown San Francisco, this is Clever Streich, signing off.